Welcome back to the Marneverse, where dreams become a reality and your reality become dreams. What do you think of that intro?
It makes no fucking sense whatsoever.
What do you mean? Does it need to make sense?
Sort of.
Of course it makes sense. It's where dreams become reality and your reality become your dreams. I like that, but I don't like it. I don't even know what I mean. So let me start off with...
Well, actually, no, maybe it does make sense. Really? Yeah. This reality comes a dream. Yeah, okay, it does. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Today I want to talk to you about
Let me talk.
force versus power. In marketing, in branding, in personal brands, in people. Here's my take on it and tell me your take on it. So, I see branding as being like true power. And I think people who don't get the branding right go into a forceful nature. And what I mean by that is they come from a place of pushing a product. And it's like, this 28 days later, have you seen this? And you see everybody at the minute just being this kind of forceful nature. Might come from lack, scarcity of, not growing the business and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But when you see people who are in the true sort of like power and they've got the brand right and they're not, we always say cart before the horse, they're not pushing anything, they're actually pulling the brand. I think the whole thing changes. What are your thoughts on that? I know it's a bit of a left field one.
Yeah, I think when you sort of see the two, like say, in a marketing standpoint, I think we've talked about this before, is like forceful marketing is, say, a Facebook ad.
Yeah.
That it runs in the background and it's clearly just there to sell a product.
Yeah. Which is fine. We're not calling it out.
Yeah, it's fine, yeah. I think you need a bit of both, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think it's the cocktail of how much you have of one and the other that's important. But I think forceful sales like that focus on results, where I think brand-led stuff focuses on impact.
Yeah.
And I think the way you deliver that or the way it's perceived is very different. You've all had a pushy salesman, haven't you? It's the thing that I always say about getting the balance right of giving value to asking for something in return, a sale or buy my product or do work with us or let's do a project together,
I think the powerful and branding, there's no expectations attached to it, so you're not expecting anything back from it. Where forceful, you're expecting something. I'll do something for you, you do something for me, and you're in this I think with force, I don't think it's sustainable. And I think it'll get you things, but you being in that forceful thing, at some time you're just going to burn out. And I think this is what a lot of businesses do. They get into that force. You see it, how many times you see it on hair salons and they're just literally just selling the products all the time. And in there, and then all of a sudden they come in and go, look, why is my Instagram not working? Why am I not getting where you are?
Yeah.
Because it's just not sustainable. Being in forceful nature is not sustainable. Being in power, it's just, you're in a flow.
Yeah, I think that's the nature of the brand, though, isn't it? And branding, I guess, and people working or doing what they love, I guess, And the difference between the two is when you're just doing something out of service, I guess. And obviously, everyone's got to make money. We get that, you can't get away from that. But when you're doing it more for the impact that you're having or the service you're giving more than just trying to make money or tons of money, it comes across, doesn't it, in the way you're trying to sell the products or push the products. You sell without selling, don't you?
Yeah.
I think it's the difference between trying to force it too much and truly believing in it, because when you're trying to sell something,
I see people, they started off and they're in that state of power. They believe in the product and stuff like that, and then they're not getting the sales in it, and then they'll start copying other people and then move into this forceful thing, and they end up just like, I just don't think they've branded it right visually and got the messaging right. They're still in the power, but they've not visually or got the messaging right of what they're doing. So they end up going over to the forceful nature thinking, I need to get more sales in, so what's that person doing? They're doing well, so I'll do a bit of that, I'll do a bit of that. And they come in this forceful nature and it just ended up fucking burning out with it. Mad, wasn't it? I keep going over it in my head all the time, like different ways of like how people are and stuff like that. And then, you know, people in front of me, I can just see they're not in it. They're just they've lost why they started in the first place. That power of like, I really want to be of service, like you said. And they end up just fucking selling a product in this forceful, please buy this because I need this. And then the whole Instagram feed is just like, these are the times my cafe's open, they're selling this, I'm selling that, and they've totally missed.
I just can't, I'm trying to think if there's a better like terminology to represent it, because I think being in power.
Now this is the thing, you see, is that people have coined it wrong, because people in power, they're not in power, they're in force.
No, I get that, but what I'm saying is for you to, and I get your distinguishment of the term or the justification of the power term.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know if I struggle to think with it, because it comes from the spiritual side.
Yeah,
you know, of what you're saying, and that's probably where I'm trying to put it. Not necessarily, I say I get it, but people listening or people interacting or trying to understand it would be like. I
think maybe, I don't know, I can't phrase it another way, but like being truly authentic and true to yourself, you're in that, aren't you? You're in that power. You'd have to coin it power, but me being truly authentic, I'm in my power.
Yeah, I think it's belief is what it comes down to. I think I'm trying to, like I said, tie it down and make it tangible for people. Is there's nothing worse than selling something that you don't really believe in, you know. And I think that's the difference with it. You know, you see it a lot of the time is when it comes to brands and stuff like that. The reason why people copy each other is because they don't believe in what they're doing. 100%, you know. And whether that's not necessarily say what they're doing isn't worth believing in or it shouldn't be believed in. It's just that people tell them, like, you know, it only takes like a few negative comments. Oh, why are you doing that? As soon as you try and do your own thing, I was believing yourself sort of thing. As soon as you go away from the curve a little bit, you get a lot of shit, don't you? Because it's like, oh, then why are you being different? People hate it when you start standing out. Yeah. So they'll rip you down, and then that's what it knocks your belief, and then you go back into this thing of you was over there, you was probably doing it right, weren't you?
Yeah. So I had like a lady in yesterday, like, you know what I'm like? I'm just kind of fucking, before I know it, I fucking changed her Instagram handle and like done that because I know it's right. Mm. But because she's not there yet and she doesn't believe in it, like, he just shits her up and like she's messaged me apologising and she's changed it back to what she has. And fair enough, you know, if she was not in that right place at the right time, that she's not really stepped into her power. She doesn't really truly believe in herself. She's not being her authentic self. She's not able to move into that yet. Mm-hmm. But because what she's doing is a lot of forceful marketing. You know, it's a lot of selling. It's a lot of this is what we do.
Yeah, that's like, I think the biggest problem I have now with doing brand work is that, and it sort of comes full circle, so I guess it's a vicious circle. And you can't think like this, but it doesn't stop you thinking like this at the same time, I guess. It's like, you know, this is like really unique, really cool. It's going to do the right thing. It's going to tell the right story. It's going to attract the right people. Yeah. But the reservation from the creative, being myself or you or Will or whoever's doing it, is the client going to get on board with it? Is the client going to believe in it? You know, and it's not that the creative isn't right.
Yeah.
It's just like you said, that they're not in the right space.
They're not ready for it yet.
Mentally, physically, spiritually, whatever you wanna say it as, to really pick it up and run with it and make it successful. You know. Because we say this all the time, the only difference between like a good idea and a shit idea is how much someone believes in it. You know, whether that's one person or whether it's millions, you know. Again, I'm sure there's people out there that think the night logo's shit. They don't really get it.
Yeah.
You know, there's just far too many people who love it or maybe don't even question it at all because it just feels right. It's another thing, isn't it? I think when stuff feels right, you don't question it as much. You can't articulate why it feels right or why it's thingy, but it's there. It's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's hard for people, isn't it? It's hard for people to be their authentic selves and step into that power. You know, you've got to ask yourself a lot of hard questions. You've got to really understand yourself. And to do that, it takes a look inside to kind of go, where am I at right now? And like I said, me and you Will can do stuff for people, and we know it's going to work for them. But like, if that person can't believe in that, even though they deserve it and that's the person they should be, if they're not at that stage right now, it's not going to go anywhere.
The thing is, as well though, I think a lot of the time they get on board with it because we capture the person, right, and we understand the person, and it's not us as the creatives going, we want to do this.
Yeah.
You know, it's we look at that and go, that's the person or that's the people that it's in, that's the rally, that's the cause, whatever it is. Yeah. This represents that perfectly. It's not necessarily then they look at it and go, oh yeah, that's pretty cool, or, oh yeah, that's thingy. But it's the external, isn't it? Oh, but when I put this out there, what's this person going to say?
That's exactly what she pretty much said. That I've changed it back because of that. I don't know what people are going to think of me. You know, fair play to her, was totally vulnerable and said that. But you're exactly right, mate. Exactly right.
Which is a shame, you know.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, I think, is you just got to get out of that thing of just not caring, really, haven't you? That's the only way of getting around it, I think. And that's the difference, though, isn't it? You have all these things and where people want to attempt to be a bit different or do these new things, but they get anchored down by the shit because realistically everyone wants to keep you on their level.
Yeah.
You know, you see it, you see at school and stuff like that. It's like if someone's excelling or someone's doing something, it's the jealousy, isn't it, of going, you know, why they got that and I don't.
Yeah.
Or thinking I don't like that, so I'm going to try and almost like sabotage it, you know.
Yeah.
So everyone wants to keep you on that same level, don't they? Really?
Yeah. It takes real courage, doesn't it, to be yourself?
I think so, yeah.
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 Especially if you've gone along with it for so long and you've got to a certain age and then you kind of met the decision, like, I want to step away from this because it's not truly who I am.
I think it gets easier the older you get, though, because I think you just, like, obviously, it's like anything, isn't it? The less you get older, less time you've got, the more you want to do what you want to do, I guess, and less you want to be waste time just caring what other people think. I just think as you get older, I don't know, that's personally been my thing. It's been like, whatever.
I mean, it is for you. It's just because I've seen, quite a few people. It's like her yesterday. She's in her sort of 50s, and she at that age, you'd think.
Yeah, maybe.
I think you're sort of a bit of an outlier and stuff like that, aren't you? To be fair.
In what sense?
I think in the sense of, like, you've always been, we've said it before about you being really cemented with your identity and not, going with the crowd and had that bit peer pressure and stuff and not really care too much about what people think of you, from an early-ish age, mate. It's taken me, God knows, I mean, potentially maybe in my 30s before I started questioning shit, kind of going, well, wait a minute, I don't want to be part of this.
Yeah, I think it's partly true, but then I think myself was probably a similar age, where it was like late 20s, early 30s, where it was just like, where I really, was just like, right, okay, fuck all this stuff. It's like I don't know a better way to say it, but it's just like, you can't mess with the bullshit, can you? It's like stuff that you say doesn't serve you anymore. It's like, it's a waste of time of it. But it's not negative either. It's not emotion led, which is the weirdest thing, you know. I always think that's the thing, is like, when people get emotional about stuff, like, that means they still care. It's when you're just like, can't be asked anymore. Like, that's when you should really be asked, because it's just like, you're just defeated, you got nothing left, have you? Just like, you got to the point where you really just don't care, and that's worse than getting emotional about stuff, isn't it?
I don't know, I mean, saying that, I think to myself, look, maybe it is harder when you get older. I think your mentality changes and you kind of go, look, I don't give a fuck or I don't care, but you've been building that identity 40, 50 years, it's actually harder to unravel that and get rid of that identity when you're later on than it is when you're younger.
I feel like life seems to move a bit faster when you get older, in terms of like, just when you're younger, like it's a bigger deal when you do a lot of firsts, isn't it? And when you've already done it, it's just like, all right, yeah, I've done this before, let's go.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. The power, the force. I just wish people would ask themselves a question and really start to understand themselves a little bit more to be like truly authentic, because I just see people blending into each other and it's a bit sad, really. I'm sad for, it's not sad as in sad, it's just sad for them that they've not been able to, just take off the fucking mask. That mask, it's just like, it's a forceful mask. You're putting it on for. Take it off, man, and just step into your power, because the whole thing just fucking just like...
Well, here's an interesting one for you. So, this year, obviously me and you've had conversations about what we want to do with the company and stuff, and you've obviously asked for a little bit more from me on the getting in front of the camera and getting out there a bit more and all that stuff. Yeah. And doing my own content, putting out on the channels. And I've been doing bits and bats, trying to find my groove, my style, whatever it is. And it's interesting that I did a style of video last week that you loved. Yeah. You was like, yeah, bang on this. This is your type of stuff. And you went, no, the stuff you did before was bad, but it felt like it was more like you. Well, interestingly, and this is, again, dissect this, and I might be going around the houses, but the stuff that I did, I don't think any of the stuff has been like totally original. Everyone's doing a similar vibe thing, and you get on camera and just go through something. Mine was like more educational stuff, but that was just stuff that I wrote a script, I went and filmed it in front of a camera, and I delivered it in a certain way, uninspired by anything really other than just generic trend. Not even a generic trend, just way I thought I could do it. Put a camera on you, get a decent frame, and just talk at the camera, right? Yeah. Which I don't think is inspired specifically by anyone's content. And you're like, yeah, it's good stuff, but I wouldn't say it's you, like your personality. Whereas the stuff that I've done, like today and last week, you're like, yeah, bang on, like the best videos that you've done. But that was inspired by something that I have seen already. Really?
Well, where did the come from? Did you see that somewhere else?
No, the All Right.
Yeah, the All Right.
No, that just come out.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know what that was.
It's the same thing we went out to when we go to the ladies empowerment circle. It's just like you talk to yourself and look at me like shot. You know what I mean? Me and you were just like, we don't even think about it. We don't even need to. You know what I mean? You're just in it. And when I saw that video, I was like, that's just fucking Gaz being Gaz.
But this is the interesting thing, and this is the thing I put to you is, you would interestingly say that I was more myself in that video. That was inspired by a little bit of something than I was in this other video where I was trying to be whatever way I was trying to be, but I had no inspiration with. So what's your take on that? Because is it a slight validation of seeing something out there and going, oh, that's quite cool, and then do my own spin on it?
You know what it was, mate? I think it was, it's not that I've looked at it and thought to myself, oh, I've seen that video before, or what's it? I was just more, Gaz was just being himself. It was the bit and stuff, and I'm like, that's the Gaz I know.
Yeah, it was interesting because I did that. I mean, we sort of like doubled down last week because I kept saying the same thing, and I was just like, I don't know why. But last week I was doing that a little bit on the video anyways, but like saying different stuff. And even I didn't know where it was from. Yeah. And then it took Betty.
Well, then you got the rolling thing, dancing and stuff, and I'm just like, that's Gaz.
But it was Betty that went, oh, is it not from that? And I was like, oh yeah, shit, that's where I've got it from. And then it was like, okay.
Well, that's power to me. That's being right in power. You're just feeling it and flowing it and fucking, you just kind of do it. There's no real head space that it comes into. You just kind of feel it and just kind of do it.
But this is my point, and this is what I'm trying to get the value across for the people watching this, and to sort of like analyse your point if you can, is I, from your opinion, I achieved that
Yeah.
by taking inspiration from elsewhere, which is what we always say. And I don't think you shouldn't take inspiration from elsewhere. I don't think you shouldn't do trends, you know. Obviously, the more original, the better.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think there's anything wrong with it, you know. If you're not looking, you're not learning. So I say you can't figure everything out on your own. You'd be daft to think you are. You need help, right? But ultimately, I was more myself from watching something or taking inspiration on a style of video than I was in just doing everything myself off the rip. Because maybe but this is what I'm trying to break down now, was I overthinking that too much? Because I wasn't just in that mindset of seeing someone go, oh, that's cool, I could do something like that because it's more my vibe. You know, that's probably the approach that went this side of it. Yeah. Whereas this one I was like, oh, I've got to do this my way from the start. And then because I'd overthought it that much that I didn't actually deliver what I set out to do. Not that I didn't deliver it, but I didn't deliver it as well, if you would. You know?
Yeah. It's like the thing is, because you've done that and you've stepped into Gaz a little bit more doing the videos, I think if you went back and did them videos that you did before, I think they'd be totally different.
Probably. But again, that's the thing, isn't it? You talk about expectations and norms and stuff, and maybe that's me going, oh, well, I'm doing an educational piece for the company that I work for. I need to be a bit more professional, you know? And then you do it like that. Because everyone's got like different sides to them, haven't they? And I've definitely got that about me, but I am a bit of a joker, aren't I?
There's nothing, and there's nothing wrong with them educational videos, mate. I just think you have got that side of you, so you can do them deals. But that's the side I love the most, not that side. I just think a lot of people think they need to be professional as well. I think maybe professional's the forceful side. You know, and they're scared of.
Well, it comes back to what I said before. No one believes in it, do they?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? When you.
Where's it come from? That professional. Let's be professional. Like, I mean, what is that gauge where people think professionals are this?
It's like majority of people who wear suits for work.
Yeah.
Don't want to wear suits or don't want to wear formal wear. It's just something they have to do. They don't believe in it, do they?
Yeah.
Don't believe it. You know, I guess makes them any better at the job. Or
they always say it's like they're not wearing the suit, the suit's wearing them.
But on the flip side of it, you know, when I go to a wedding or something like that, where it's a formal event, I don't mind putting a suit on. Won't wear one day to day, but there's in special occasions that you would, and you go, yeah, you do feel the power of the suit if you would, you know. But what I'm saying is, it comes to belief, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like you don't believe that makes it any better. So I feel like when you're not on board with it, it's meaningless, isn't it?
Yeah. I think everything could come to belief, doesn't it?
I think so. Well, what we do is like, and I see this back and forth with everybody who works here, is like, and in the creative space, not just people who work here, it's the validation of a peer or somebody else. Because when you come up with an idea, it's just an idea. It's just this daft thing that you've come up with until only takes one person goes, oh, fucking hell, that shit's out that. And you go, ah. And you feel it, don't you?
Yeah.
How many times do your conversations have, I've just done this and I'm not sure about it.
Yeah.
And that's literally the opening dialogue, isn't it? Yeah. To most of our sort of collaborative creative sessions. And you sort of waiting for the thing in the same way it is reversed, you know. We'll be 70, 80, 90% there of it going, yeah, it's all right, this. But then as soon as you come in and go, yeah, okay, I'm on board with that.
Yeah.
You know, you're there, aren't you? It's like 100% right, okay, yeah, let's rock and roll, let's go. You know. Interestingly, I don't get that with clients though. When a client doesn't pick something up, because I understand obviously, like, you know, and it doesn't happen often, but you know, when clients can't get on board with something, it's not the idea most of the time.
They don't believe in it.
That's wrong. It's the visions.
Right.
That's a little bit smaller than the idea. The idea, or the concept's too big, isn't it? It's scary. Generally.
Yeah.
Because you could argue all day long. There's nothing that's actually wrong, is there? Creativity.
No. Like you said, sometimes the vision, it's a bit scary. If it's a bit too scary, you can't believe in it. even though it's right for you. I'm just like, no, I'm not ready for that.
Yeah, I don't think it's
Will I ever be ready for that? It's another question.
Well, I don't think there's been many times we sit there and go, fucking hell, we've dropped a bollock here.
Yeah.
And we've really got this wrong. You know, the only times that sort of happens is like where it goes, well, you'll get the client back and they'll go, oh, well, actually, I meant this.
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't fill the briefing right, and we don't actually like who we are.
That's another one, yeah. When you actually put down on paper who they are, they're like, well, I don't like that. Or, that's not who we're trying to portray. Yeah. We're trying to be this. Or the other side is, we have it is, this is who I came to you as, but it's been 6 months or 3 months or however long it's been, and actually no, I think we're more this. Yeah. You're like, right, okay, rewind, take the bits that we can and put it back into that.
I think that's what's good about the branding process, isn't it? That people really start to question who they are. Yeah, people never really look at, maybe you've been going 3 years, 5 years in business, and they never really look to the eye. They've just got to a point, and they've kind of stuck at a point, and then it's like, oh, maybe I need to look at the values, maybe we need to, re-look at the vision again and stuff. And then when you start, we start doing our thing and you're questioning, do you really understand who you are as a business, understand as you?
Nobody does. Yeah. I think we've been doing this for 10 years and I still think, what we go and put a percentage figure on it. What percentage figure of the or whatever market you want to go on to, if you want to go global and say brands around the world, like what percentage of them, like of the businesses in the world and the brands in the world, what percentage of them actually understand it and got it locked? Is it even 1%? I'm talking every business in the world here, not just your big boys, because the ones that your Amazons, your Nikes, your Apples, they're 0.no. Think of how many businesses you can walk out of here now and walk up 20 minutes of that road. Yeah. You'll pass 50 businesses.
Yeah, not many, mate.
I think I counted it one day because we were going to do that sign thing. I think there's 284 on that road.
On Charlie Hall Road?
Yeah.
Is a shit.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And there are many of them.
I reckon I'd be surprised if one of them had it locked off.
Yeah.
On that road.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to walk into all 184 of those businesses and spend 60 seconds with them and walk in and say, tell me who you are and what you do.
Yeah.
And why you're here, why the doors are open and why I should give you my money. And interestingly, how many of them will come back with a compelling, impactful answer to that question that would make me buy into them. I think won't be many, It's like, oh, well, we do this, we do that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we're a living wage employer.
This is what we do.
And I go, oh, well, we do this really well. Oh, we won this award. Cool. But by me buying your product, what impact do I have on the world?
Yeah. Yeah. What the fuck are you on about?
What do you mean? I'm a business.
Yeah.
You're also a brand, And you're like, and I don't think many people will be able to answer it. But the problem is that people don't understand they need to have that locked. There's gonna become a crucial point soon where people are already figuring it out. That's why influencers and all the rest of it do so well these days, because people don't understand why it works yet. I don't think even the influencers don't understand why it works. It just is working, so we'll do it, like everything else, isn't it? But when people start to think it, it'll be like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's so much easier, like making money as a personal brand, because you don't really need to. You just got to be yourself, haven't you? Where a business is going to kind of create that for themselves, an identity, a character, a personality.
Yeah, you've got to build the avatar, haven't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's
what I think business is force. I think branding is power. I think you've still got to do the business, and you've got a percentage of, doing your Facebook ads and getting the what's it, but your main staple should be branding on your Instagram, on your LinkedIn, your Facebook, your TikTok. Yeah, and just step into that. And all I'm saying is that power is just you being your authentic self. I know people say it so many times, but take the fucking mask off, man. It don't serve you. It don't serve you.
It's just difficult, I think, isn't it? Because people need to make money. you know, and it's easy doing that when you've got over that speed bump at the bottom end where you're sort of self-sufficient and you don't need to get into that force.
Where you're being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's the tricky part. But the even trickier part is you've almost got to take a step back, haven't you? Because the only way you really get there is by doing what we're saying. You know, which takes a little while just to
understand yourself
and just to implement it. You know, it's like once it starts rolling, but you just gotta wait until it does.
Because that rolling thing's in power. Because you don't, when something rolls, it just flows, doesn't it?
You can't force things, can you? You do it not just in business, but you do it
in relationships.
In sport.
Yeah,
you know, that's a big one for me.
Yeah,
it's like, you know, you're losing, you're down, thinking you try and do too much because you're thinking about it too much. You know, like playing pool. You know, when you really need to try and sink those things, sink the balls. Come back. You're just slightly off on your angles.
Same with
golf.
Overthinking it.
You know,
it's all the same, mate. And once your head comes into it, like you just again, you know, force, business, head, you know, branding, heart, flow, intuition. You know, we get into them states. That flow state that brings you fucking hell. The world's your fucking oyster.
It's a balance, though, isn't it? You know, I think you've got to use the switched on side, the logical side, to figure out what you need. And sometimes when you're in that stage, you know, it is more difficult, and you just, you know, you got to take it on the chin and be shit a few times, knowing that you get all that locked off. But then when you get to that level, then, you know, it's like, I guess it's like learning a skill, like what we do. You have to be in that state to learn the skill.
Yeah.
For the most part, I believe, you know, because generally the way the world works is more logic based, you know. So you have to be in that space to learn it, and it's difficult, and you've got to fight with it.
Yeah.
But once you get it to a point where you've built the reps, you've got the muscle memory, it becomes second nature. Then you can start flowing within that.
Just like riding a bike, got learning, it's hard, you got to be in a forceful
thing. Well, you're
thing.
thinking.
Yeah, and once you've got it, like you don't even think about it anymore.
Well, think about when you learn to drive.
Yeah.
You know, when you're learning to drive, how difficult is it?
Yeah.
Because you're thinking about where your feet are, where your hands are, what have I got to be doing, where have I got to be looking.
Yeah.
And because you're focusing on so many things like that, it's so difficult, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you have to go through that difficulty of 6 months, a year, however long it takes you to learn. Well, even past that, when you get on the road, you're still in that thing.
Understand it, then you believe in it, and then it's just.
And then when you just know you can do it, then you trust your own ability, don't you? So you believe in your own ability to do it, and it's second nature. Then you don't think about it. So much so that when someone asks you, you know, hey, how do you drive?
I don't know.
Try and describe that. Right, you got to put your left foot to the floor.
Yeah.
And then you got to grab the gear stick and put it up there. And then, when do you change gear? How do you know when to change gear?
Yeah.
You just know.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's a good analogy, that, isn't it? Really. You just know. It's just a feeling, isn't it? That you know that's when it needs to be.
It's a combination of how the engine sounds, to how fast I'm going, to what's on the thingy. But you're not looking at the meter, are you?
No, you're going, okay, 5,000 revs now, I need to change.
Yeah, but you're not doing that because it's around what, 2,000?
Yeah.
Depending on what car you're in, right? Yeah, it's 2,000 revs or whatever it is, 3,000 revs, right? But I don't look at the thing. No, I'm doing it more off audio. I'm just around the road. You can feel the car though. You can feel when the car starts overly pulling or struggling in that gear, and you're like, right, okay, you go. You're not doing it off numbers or timings or anything like that. Yeah. It's like, oh, this feels like it needs to go up a gear now. Oh, there we go again.
It's a good one, that.
Say if you're into high gear. Oh, no.
Yeah. I think that's it. I just, from this, I want people to think about this, move into this power. You don't need to spiritual it up. All we're saying is just like, be your authentic self, and just fucking things happen, man. just like abundance is out there. It's like, yeah, you need a bit of force, but you need more power.
I think you can overthink things, can't you? And that's the thing as well. You try and sit there forever and try and solve that puzzle, but sometimes you just better just go in with it, you know, and trust in the process, aren't you? Whatever cliche that sounds, you know. Let go. What do you say?
Let go.
Let go or let it go. Do you know?
Yeah,
that's probably a decent point for you to add in that thing that was talking
Yeah,
the other day.
we were saying about the other day about like force is let it go, where power is let go. Let it go, you've got to do something. You've actually, but let go is nothing. You've just got to be all right with nothing and everything and just being, not doing, just being. Yeah.
That's the thing, is you can try and affect something all day long, can't you?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, there's only so much you can do realistically. It's like, I was having this discussion before with Lee actually about, he was asking me, he said, how long does it take to do a project? Because he's looking at statistically figures wise and all the rest of it, productivity, profits. And you do need that. You need to understand that. And we was like, right, well, you can do it in this amount of time. And I said, yes, in terms of hours, right? Let's say it takes me, 40 hours to do a project. By logical thinking, that's I come in on a Monday morning and I finish on a Friday and I should have a project done, right? And although it takes me 40 hours, if it does take me 40 hours, right, as an example, to do that 40 hours in one stint, you wouldn't get it done in that time.
Yeah, because you're forcing it.
You're forcing it, and you just need to leave things alone and let them marinate for a bit, especially creativity. I'm talking, what we do. And I think you could work in that set of going one project, and you could do 4 projects by that math in a month, couldn't you? Also, though, you could do 4 projects in that same time if you went from doing 10 hours on this one to 10 hours on that one to 10 hours on that one to 10 hours on that one, and doing it that way and letting it flow a little bit more. So by the time you've come back around to the first one again, guess what? A week's gone by, and you've had that time. I think a lot of it comes subconsciously as well.
That time to let go.
And let it sink in as well with you, and let your mind open up a little bit and look at things a different perspective, and then come back. And he got that. He was like, yeah, I get it. I understand that you need to leave things alone. And I think we understand, don't we? Understand the human beings that, that's okay, that makes sense. We don't understand why it makes sense, but you go, yeah, I'm like that as well. And I can't explain the science behind it. Yeah,
there's just something really organic about it, isn't there? About that way of doing things.
Yeah. I was used to describe back in the days, like when I used to play computer games as a kid, and this is before the internet was as big as it is now. You couldn't just go online, and nowadays I go on YouTube, you can find out how to do a level or how to do a mission in seconds. Couldn't have that back in the day, unless you was ringing up one of the cheat line things, So you persist and you get to the point where you ultimately get pissed off of it, and you go, oh, fuck this, can't be arsed now. And you chuck it to that and you go and play another game. And then it'd be weeks or months, days, weeks, months, whatever it was. And then it'd catch your eye again, and you go, oh yeah, stuck there. And 9 times out of 10, I put the disc back in the tray, and I'd solve the thing within 5 minutes. Because I wasn't just trying to brute force it.
Yeah.
I'd come away from it, I'd gone and played my bike and played football, I'd done all the rest of it, I'd played something else and come back to it. And I was in a different headspace when I reapproached it. And it was just like, that was actually really simple. I just couldn't reframe when I'm in that one.
Yeah. I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this.
That pressure, that stress, all that stuff you put on it.
Yeah.
You just rinse, repeat, aren't you? The same thing over and over and over again.
Fucking hell, you just burn your fucking head
expecting
out.
Different results.
Yeah. You're just going to burn out. It's not sustainable. Being forceful is not sustainable.
No.
Sweet. Thanks for listening, everybody. Goodbye.